One of the home favorites, Maé-Bérénice Méité.
There's a few who engage with audiences more than Maé-Bérénice Méité.
Honestly, the majority of athletes have gone through some troubles with food. It's not supposed to be like that.
Hi everyone, Jamie here. I am so excited to introduce you to our new upcoming podcast season, Flame Bearers Pathways to Paris, elevating the voices of women on their journeys to the Olympics and Paralympics. Two exciting updates for you. Number one, we have an unbelievable co-host who I can't wait to introduce you to. Number two, all of these episodes are live on YouTube. We've received feedback that you want to see us. So we heard you, we reacted. You can listen to our full episodes on your favorite podcasting platform or on YouTube, your choice completely. Now, without further ado, let's meet May.
Hello everybody, thank you Jamie for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be your co-host for this fourth season of Flame Bearer. For those of you who don't know me, my name is May. I'm a French figure skater, two-time Olympian, six-time national champion. On the side, I did my studies, and today I'm here to co-host that amazing podcast.
Yes, let's go.
I'm a kid who has a lot of energy, so my parents were like, okay, you need to pick a sport that you'll do, so then you'll exhaust yourself a little bit, so then we can get to sleep at night. And I told them figure skating. And they were like, okay, that's unusual, but okay, we'll put her in and we'll see. My dad thought I would last 3 months, something like that, and then after I'll be cold. Well, 20 something years later, I'm still here, so yeah, that's how it started.
So connect the dots for us. How did you go from parents being like, May, pick a sport, all the way through to where you are today?
So it all started as a game, and actually for the longest time, for me, it was just a game. It gets harder and harder, obviously. You learn the jumps, the tricks, the skating skills a little bit more advanced. And the more you graduate in the figure skating, the more you can level up and then get access to regional competitions. And then if you do well at those competitions, well, the federation or your league actually can be like, oh, okay, that kid is interesting. Maybe we can get her into the team. So I got into the league team, and then I got the nice results. So I went to the national team. And then after the national team, I was national champion I was, fun fact, actually, I was national champion in all the categories that exist in figure skating in France.
Woo!
So, yeah. I'm a little proud of this one. And then I got my first international assignment at the age of 11 or 12. And that's when it all started.
Do you remember when you were little, the moment it changed, or maybe it never did change from being a game to something different? Or is it still a game for you today?
Okay, so it's back to being a game, but for a little bit of time, it wasn't a game anymore. I basically went to all those events and to the biggest events of like any athletes could dream of. So what now? And it was a little bit harder to get out of your comfort zone, push, go into details, because that's when really, if you want the medal, that's where you have to go into details. I was in survival mode and I wasn't enjoying skating anymore. And after my injury, that's when I got the passion again for skating, and that's when I started to see it as a game again.
May, for those who haven't followed you throughout your journey, can you tell us about your injury?
After March 2021, I go for the short program. And I do the first jump, great. Second jump, I toe pick, something is wrong, I fall, I cannot skate anymore. That was the end of the competition for me, and that was the qualifier for the Olympics, the 2022 Olympics. So, well, the doctor was like, okay, your Achilles tendon is ruptured, there won't be any Olympics for you, just kiss it goodbye. And in my head, I was like, okay, this is the Olympic qualifier. I'll go to the Olympics, hopefully. And then after that, I'm done. Well, God had other plans for me. He was like, nope, you're not done. You'll keep skating. I'm on the older side of the spectrum of skating because that's a sport where you pick up very young. So everybody thought it would be impossible for me to come back. I told them, oh, I'll be back. Not to worry, I'll be back. And I was very meticulous with my recovery. 6 months after my injury, I was back on the ice. And the next season, I was back competing. And arriving at the Grand Prix of France, I did the best performance I could have dreamed of, like one of my greatest skate. And I was the first ranked French skater at that Grand Prix. So I was like, told you I was gonna be back.
What advice would you give for people who are in that survival mode? It sounds like you went through it.
It can be dark and very lonely. Everybody says that, but you'll go through it, I promise you. Sometimes it's a work you have to do within yourself. The possibility to fail, the availability and the space to feel, because as athletes, very often we're asked not to feel, to just do more, give more, and build your boundaries. Build healthy boundaries around you. Protect yourself, because nobody's going to protect you from the outside and the craziness that can happen.
High-level sports are so tiring and exhausting on the body. Talk to us about some of the challenges that you have personally faced, if you're comfortable in figure skating, when it comes to personal setting of boundaries.
I'm very athletic, so I don't fit the figure skating like persona that people portray in their head. I'm not as thin and tiny as others maybe, but I use that as my strength. I don't care anymore. I'm like, God made me that way, so
many athletes have shared that with me, that they felt like their body was different than the norm. How are you dealing with that?
I'm still traumatized, but better. But in figure skating, the physique plays a component in your performances, basically, and your health too. Because if you're too heavy, it's not good for your joints. But then also, if you don't fit like a certain standard, your mark can be impacted by that, because you might not look as gracious to the eye of the judge. So it can play in that sense. But for me, when I was 15, 16, that's when I started to skate in senior, because basically physically I didn't look like a junior anymore. I had a full-grown woman body, and I felt like an outcast in junior. I was like, I don't belong here, like put me in senior. And then they were putting pressure on me when it came to my weight. They're like, oh, you need to lose 5 kilo, you need to lose 5 kilo all the time. But that's one thing that bothered me, because I'm like, do you know my morphotype? Do you know my muscle mass, my bone density, like all of that, before telling me I need to lose 5 kilos? Because maybe I only need to lose 2. Maybe I don't need to lose any at all. So that was a tough moment of my career. Then eventually I tried to set up some boundaries, but the damages, like the mental damages, were done already. The way I see food was a little complicated for the longest time. Working on it though. But yeah, sometimes it's still a struggle. Because I feel like if we talk to many athletes, honestly, the majority of athletes have gone through some troubles with food. It's not supposed to be like that. If you have the proper knowledge, the proper guidance with the athlete, then we should be able to be healthy when it comes to that. Some athletes are avoiding having their periods because they're afraid to be too heavy. That's insane. That's natural.
Wow. I'm sorry. This is ignorant Jamie here. So this is because when you get your period, you bloat and you gain weight. Is that correct?
Yeah, because your body becomes like, you're a woman body. So obviously you have shapes. Maybe you will gain weight, maybe not. It depends of the people. And yeah, it will change some things, obviously. But at the same time, you can get adjusted. and you'll survive, because we all do.
So you've mentioned things that should change. What is the world that you want to work towards? So I am so excited to go on this journey with you co-hosting. We're working with women from literally every continent. What do you want people to take away from this season?
Well, first of all, it's just amazing to have this opportunity because you're an amazing person, and I just love discovering everything that you've built, because we need more platforms that empower women, especially athletes. We're still lacking the visibility, safe space where we can express ourselves, share our stories, make our voices heard, and you have created just that. There are so many informations that we're gonna get from it. There's so much value we're gonna have from those conversations. We're gonna connect in a deeper level, and I just can't wait.
Let's do it. I'm into it. May, thank you so much for joining us. I truly appreciate it, and I'm so excited to go on this journey together.
Thanks for tuning into Flame Bearers.
If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us along on social media for more behind-the-scenes exclusive content on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever social platform you are on. Thank you, and stay tuned for our upcoming episode.